Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to jump into my next project. So you see, a few years ago I had a smaller kegerator that fit only one corny keg, and with luck we were able to upgrade this old system. My wife scored this freestanding unit off of Craigslist, and other than a questionable thermostat, it has worked out great for us. But I've always wanted to give it a little bit more of a wow factor. Along with this wow factor, I'd like to make it a little bit more functional. Currently, my glasses sit on top of the counter, and with all this sitting outside, they get covered in pollen and dust. Not exactly what you're wanting when you're looking for a cold beverage. Okay, so what do I have in mind to give it that wow factor? Well, I'm thinking of doing an accent wall behind the kegerator. This wall will feature a custom cabinet for storing glasses and other barware, and the best part, a concealed TV that pops out when you need it and disappears when you don't. With the addition of the TV, I can have a digital display of what's on tap here. That'll be handy when we have people over. Also, we can watch movies or sports games outside. It should be a nice addition to the space, so stick around and let's turn this kegerator into an ultimate home bar setup. Oh, cheers. Well, maybe not until I'm done with the power tools, you know, safety first. With a game plan in mind, I began building the cabinet boxes for the glasses and for the TV. I had been building this bar in my head for a while. It's interesting, if I had built this last year, the project would have looked a bit different. The cabinet box I'm building here was always part of the plan. It's the functional part of the project that sparked the idea to build all of this. The TV, on the other hand, having a mounted TV and an accent wall was a bonus part of the project. Only over the summer did I come up with the idea of building a cabinet box for the TV and then hiding the TV behind a door in the cabinet. Once I had this idea, it felt like the obvious design option. Especially lifting the door with gas struts was a final touch to make this project special. Although, who knows? In a few years, I wonder if I may come up with a better way to do this. In some ways, I think that would make for a fun video series, where you revisit objects or projects you've built years ago and then build a newer version. Who knows, this might be something I do down the road. For the TV cabinet door, I decided to go with using a half-lap joinery for the frame. This method is not only strong and should be able to support itself while it's hanging in midair, but I also think it'll give it a clean look. This technique is great for making cabinet doors, so why not use it for a large TV cabinet door, right? The center panel pieces will be waterproof laminate flooring. So, with the table saw, I cut an oversized rabbet for these boards. My hope is this will accommodate for any wood movement throughout the seasons. Digging through my lumber, I was lucky to find an elm slab I had left over from building my dining room table a few years ago. It was just the right size for the mantle shelf in this project. This slab had some large checks or cracks that needed to be stabilized. I decided to fill these gaps with black epoxy. Since this project will be outside, it will be exposed to a fair amount of UV rays, and the black epoxy won't yellow over time. And as I mentioned, this slab was left over from another project. That table has black epoxy, so these two pieces of furniture will tie together. Once all of the sanding was completed and the wood was cleaned with mineral spirits, the mantle shelf got several coats of halcyon to help it stand up to the outdoor elements. Working on projects, especially projects that involve trying a new technique that is new to me, I find it interesting. And well, maybe a little nerve-wracking, but in the end, when it works out, it's fun to learn a new skill. In my last house, we completely remodeled the kitchen. During that project, I learned the technique of using pocket hole screws for connecting trim together. Then finishing and painting the boards, and finally installing the trim as one piece. It produced a great result. No gaps opened up over time at the joints. To build this accent wall, I approached this in the same manner, and I'll let you be the judge of how this turns out. And then just like that, I got most of the prep work all done. I'm gonna take these back to the bench and sand down the joints and fill them with a epoxy putty to kind of help fill the gaps. I mean, really, this is like such a great way to do face moldings or even doing an accent wall like this. And now I can go clean this up and install it and only put a few holes to touch up later on. So let's go sand these down and get them ready to install behind the keg. Whew. All right, that was as difficult as I expected, but now I can clean out here and level this all off. Moving on to building the frame for the accent wall and the cabinets, I figured I could solve two problems at the same time. With the Kegerator sitting on an outdoor concrete slab, it needs to be leveled. Outdoor concrete slabs always slope away from the house. Well, at least they should anyways. Also, the framing needed something heavy to anchor it down, and trust me, this Kegerator was definitely heavy. So I built the frame for the wall and the toe kick for the frame as one unit. This was all leveled off with composite shims and double-sided tape to keep from shifting while I moved the Kegerator back. Then the Kegerator was set on top of the frame, and this thing doesn't seem to be going anywhere. To bring more natural color to the wall, I decided to use waterproof engineered laminate flooring. Thinking I would be clever, I connected all the boards together so I could place them onto the wall all at once. With my boards prepped, I troweled glue onto the wall. Then I went to hang the boards onto the wall. It was at this point that I realized my plan wasn't that clever. After a moment of frustration, I installed the boards one by one, probably how I should have done this in the first place. To help hold everything in place while the glue set up, I placed brad nails in the areas where the trim boards would hide the holes. Also, I had to clean up some glue from when the wall came tumbling down. With the wall finished up, it was finally time to break down the cabinets, paint them, and finally install all of the hardware. Keeping with the fun little details on this project, I decided to make a few tap handles. Digging through my scrap pile, I found some interesting cutoffs that I thought would look nice. Once I had a few pieces that caught my eye, I made a quick little template and spent some time on the router table. These small details help bring it all together, and they will add a unique touch to this project. All right, well, that's a wrap on this project. I think it turned out great. Cheers. Wait, hold on. There we go. Now it's a wrap. I think it turned out awesome. I like the personal touches, like the custom tap handles, or the TV cabinet, how it's all tucked away here, and you can see what's on tap. And really enjoying this digital tap board from Taplist.io. Also, with the TV, I've already started enjoying watching shows out here. While I wrapped up this project, I was able to catch up on some Clawhammer brewing and Homebrew for Life videos. I feel inspired now to brew a tasty beverage to put on tap. Thanks for joining me on this exciting build. I had fun making this one, and thanks for watching.